Welcome to Butterflies of Wisdom, everyone. I have Ezina with me today, and Ezina is not only an author, she's a public speaker. So without further ado, I'm going to let Ezina take it away.
Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for having me on the show. It's such an honor to be here today.
Well, you're welcome. And please explain to my audience more of what you do.
I am a singer-songwriter and inspirational composer, and I also teach healing. So what that means is I compose music with inspirational lyrics, and I share that around the world through concerts and also during speaking events.
So, okay, you are a singer-songwriter, also a healer. Man, I've never heard of that. So can you give my audience an example of what that may look like?
Absolutely. You know, if you come to a show of mine, what happens is I ask everybody to come and bring whatever it is that they are carrying, whatever, sadness or whatever, to just dump it at the door and to come in and just be inspired. So when you come to my concert, I do a lot of praying. I allow people there's a huge prayer box there, and you can put in prayers and things. And as we sing together, because my audience sings with me, as we sing these positive and happy, uplifting songs, I feel like, people are able to shed their sadness and their depression and what have you, because there's a room full of people who are sharing in the experience of sharing their joy and their happiness and their gratitude. And so as a healer, what I do is I utilize the words that I use, like the inspirational words, and put them together in song in a way that touches the heart. We have chakras in our body, these energy centers in our body, and when we resonate with the proper tones, we're able to open those areas up. So I work a lot with the heart chakra, which is the heart center, and I work a lot with the stomach area, because a lot of people hold a lot of tension there. So my songs are in the tones that resonate with the heart chakra, the throat chakra, and the sacral chakra, which are places where people tend to hold a lot of stress and anxiety.
Well, yeah. Ezina, I don't know if you've listened to my podcast or know my story, but I have cerebral palsy. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because they've done music studies on people with cerebral palsy, on people with physical disabilities too, and music changes my mood.
Oh, yes. It will do that,
Yes.
Which is wonderful. It's a wonderful healing mechanism if you use it that way.
So I want to ask you, what is your favorite book?
I have two favorite books. The first one is Excuse Me, Your Life is Waiting by Lynn Grabhorn.
Yes. Your life is waiting. Excuse me. Time to quit the day job, like I'm doing. May 22nd, 2018, I'm walking away from my day job and becoming a full-time writer because my life is waiting.
I love that. It's absolutely true, and that book has been a catalyst for change in my life. I picked it up about 15 years ago, and reading that book just opened up a whole world for me of, where was I settling in my life? Where was I making excuses for not shining my light? And I think a lot of us get stuck in a rut, or we feel that this is all that life has to offer, but we are really in control of our own destiny when we release the excuses and we go, I'm going to do it anyway.
Yep, it's all about releasing your fears of starting a podcast, or my last guest said releasing your fears about starting a YouTube channel.
Absolutely. And I think that's what a lot of us tend to do is we have these fears and then we turn them into false beliefs. But if we just start breaking down those fears and working through them one, and, one book, Excuse Me, Your Life is Waiting, kind of challenges you to go through each of those things that you fear and to experience them and see if your thoughts are really true. And what we all tend to find is that they're not. Once you do something, you're like, wow, that wasn't that hard. And I don't know if that was true for you when you started this podcast or when you wrote your book. Once you were on the other side, you're like, wow, that wasn't that hard.
Yeah. No, it was truly hard for me to just get over the fear because I was also going through grief at that time, and I was also going through a tragic loss in my own life that I needed to write this book.
Mm-hmm. I'm so glad you did. It's very inspiring.
Well, thank you. And so my next question is, do you listen to podcasts or no?
I do. I listen to podcasts a lot, especially here in Los Angeles when we're sitting in a lot of traffic.
Oh, yes. Yes. The last time I was on the 401, it wasn't that bad. Quite frankly, I was driving from Irvine to LA, and my aide and I managed to get on the 401. My aide and I look at each other and say, let's get off the 401 as quickly as we can, because now I understand your guys' pain. Now I understand LA's pain.
Oh, yes, and the drive from Irvine to L.A., my gosh, I've done that drive so many times. It could take you 3 or 4 hours, depending on traffic.
Yes, depending on traffic. Jeez. I'm like, no. I was going to school out there at one point, and so my aide and I decided to fly out there to see my campus, and that 401 freeway doesn't sit well with me.
It doesn't sit well with any of us, but it's a necessary evil, to get up and down the coast.
So, that being said, what are your favorite podcasts that you can listen, that you can recommend to my audience?
I love Tim Ferriss. His podcast, I find, is very inspirational. It kind of lights the fire under your tush to get out there and do things in business. I really love his book, The 4-Hour Work Week, and I love how he, inspires you to find ways to get things done in a more efficient manner without using so much energy, personal energy. So I love his. I also love Entrepreneur on Fire. Being an entrepreneur, I love learning new ways to run my business. And, those are the two that I listen to a lot. Also, Allie Brown has Plan Vision, and that's all female. It's female, women who doing amazing things in the business world, and you are definitely doing that. Especially on that podcast as well. I'd love to just listen to your words of wisdom, about being a woman and starting, your business and just business success. So those are the ones that I listen to a lot. And, I just love hearing powerful women like yourself who are, just teaching us how to stay on target and how to keep going.
Well, thank you for saying that. A lot of my fan base doesn't know how difficult being a full. I'm not a teacher anymore. This will be my last year teaching in the classroom, and it's not. It's very difficult to produce a podcast and be a full-time writer. It's absolutely difficult. I didn't realize I was taking on a full-time job when I started. I don't know about you, but with indie music, it's just as difficult.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, you're wearing many hats. You know, many years ago I was on a record label and they had staff, and so the staff was taking care of a lot of things for me. But as an indie artist, you do everything for yourself. You're the promoter, you know, you're the artist, you're the graphic designer, you're the, you know, the maid, you're the janitor, the driver.
Yeah,
you
the
have
maid.
So many different.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Exactly. And so what I wanted to ask you, Ezina, is how do you feel about iTunes and the 99 cents in iTunes and the independent artists not getting paid? I'm sorry to bring that up, but they're not getting paid as much as they should.
It's true. You know, all businesses, I have a strong background in business. I went to business school, and all businesses shift, and all business models shift over time. And, you know, records or music has always been a loss leader for the artist. Like traditionally, you know, the artist would put out a record, and basically that was used to recoup your advance, because when you sign with the record company, they give you an advance of money up front to go and make and market your record. And so as an indie artist, you don't have that upfront money. You're basically doing it yourself. And, you know, it's still a loss leader on iTunes. It's still, you know, you don't really make any money off of your downloads. But what has shifted in the industry is that you're making money on streams now. So, you know, as people listen to the music on Spotify and, you know, other platforms like that, Pandora, what have you, you're making money off of your streams. And the way the artists have always made the majority of their money has been with the merchandising and with concert tours. And that is still the same. So, you know, I don't really feel the pinch as much because this is just always the way business has been. It's just shifted a little bit from, you don't make any money on your downloads to, okay, now you make a little bit of money streaming, but you still got to go out and tour and you still got to have merchandise, you know, T-shirts and, you know, hats and things like that so that people can take a piece of the concert experience home with them.
Well, I understand. So, were you in corporate America before you went indie, or no?
I was.
I was
in corporate America. I worked in real estate for a long time. I was a real estate property manager, and I was also a retail manager for quite some time. And then I came back in 1998 as an indie artist because I missed the music so much. And, you know, I was always writing. I never stopped writing and composing music. But doing it as a full-time job, you know, after my record deal, I had to go and work, you know, to support myself in corporate America. But in 1998, I decided, okay, no more. And I just went out on my own. And fortunately, my first independent record did really well. And I was able to tour around the world and support myself on the success of that record. So I'm very proud of that I was able to, you know, put together a project that was actually successful on my own without a record label behind me.
Well, very good goal. Maybe I can take some of your magic sauce and make this self-publishing end of it work, which I have got a small publishing deal, you guys. We're working on that right now, and I'm supposed to hand my next autobiography over to my publisher as of January 2018. And so we're doing a little test on Win and Win's book and Win's patience. Yeah, Win doesn't have very good patience because Win wants it done now, and so does Ezina, and so Win and Ezina don't like people telling them what to do, but I'm actually doing the test with my books, and so yeah, I'm really excited about that. I just have to do a little bit of fundraising because being an independent published author, if you don't write, you don't get a paycheck. Same with independent published music. If you don't sing, you don't get a paycheck. And so my assistant really quite doesn't understand that. I don't get that. But the rest of my team does. And so, Ezina, that being said, what would you recommend to someone that wanted to take the leap into this industry?
Together your troops. This is not truly independent. And you have to have a team around you. So your friends, support you, together an email list project, and keep them informed and ask them to keep sharing because, my business is built on word of mouth, and through that
Yep.
I was able to travel the entire world. So it's really important to gather all of your supporters, and nowadays it's quite easy with the free MailChimp account to newsletter list and just start letting people know what you're doing. And if you really bring together a campaign or something like that so you can get some resources in. But please honor those people who donate to your campaign and make sure that you do deliver on time because they're putting their trust in you. So it's really important that you honor every single dime that comes into your campaign because, they don't have to support you. And the fact that they do is so amazing. And if you can just share your gratitude and continue to keep them informed in what you're doing and make sure that you do deliver your products on time and that you do stay on social media and showing pictures of you making your work, whether it be writing your book or doing your music, take a few little video snippets of you in the studio. Keep people involved because this is a conversation. It's not like you're dictating to your fans. This is a family you're building, and a family is built on communication. So my greatest advice is to stay in constant communication with those people who are supporting you and to share your gratitude.
I highly appreciate that advice for someone who's about to take a leap, who's about to take the leap. And I'm taking a leap with $200 in my checking account. And I am, even though it will be my last year teaching, I'm only making $150. You teachers don't make that much, so that's why I'm taking the leap. And so I'll get into why later and how I'm actually doing it. You guys are shocked that I'm taking the leap. But I appreciate Ezina's advice, and I want Ezina to ask me a couple questions that she's been interested in asking me.
Absolutely. My first question I want to ask you is, what style of music do you love the most?
What style of music do I love the most? Well, this is going to shock everyone. I like Enya 1, and I guess I like The Wall, Pink Floyd, which that's going to shock everyone because they think I like Britney Spears and 87 generation music, and no. I like Enya, I like The Wall, I like Warren Zevon. There's another one out there that's a little peculiar. I like the peculiar music. That's what I like.
I love that. That's awesome. And if you could see anyone in concert tonight, who would that be?
Oh, I have already got to see my dream concert, and that was for my 29th birthday last year. I just turned 30 this year, and I got to see one of my favorite singers in the whole wide world, and that's Chris Isaac. And if you guys ever get to go to a Chris Isaac show, my God, he's phenomenal. He is in his 60s, but he can still hold a tune like there's no tomorrow. And plus, he's hot to look at. And he, speaking of interacting with his fans, my goodness, he jumps off the stage and interacts with his fans and just has a grand old time. I don't know how he doesn't anymore.
Yes, awesome. Awesome show for
Yeah,
sure.
that's awesome. Awesome. And the way Ezina just said that, I have a funny feeling that she's seen Chris Isaac live.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Great show. You know, it's always wonderful as an artist to go and see other artists in concert because you learn so much, you know, and it just expands your mind, you know, things that are possible and just seeing the joy in the audience. You know, that's my favorite part, is to watch the joy in the faces of the audience members, you know, and I think that's why I do music, is just to see, you know, just that people are changing and being affected by the music. Like, that's some amazing thing to me, and I'm just so grateful that I get to be a part of, you know, a little part of that. So that's really wonderful. Now, let me ask you a quick question about television. Do you have a favorite show that you like to watch?
Television. Oh boy. I like the Real Housewives of Orange County, and I like all the Real Housewives series, actually. That's my crappy binge watching TV.
I love it. And what about movies? Is there anything that you've seen in the past, any indie movies, major movies that you've really thought, wow, that was a really great piece of art, or was very entertaining?
If you want to go see a nice, relaxing movie, go see Logan Lucky, and that's in the movie theaters right now, you guys. And it stars Daniel Craig of James Bond, Channing Tatum, who's hot to look at. And so if you want to go see a nice, relaxing comedy, go see Logan Lucky. That was one I just saw recently.
Awesome. And how can we support you in your endeavors and what you're doing? Do you have a funder, a Indiegogo, or something of that nature, a Patreon page or something like that, so that we can support you in your endeavors?
Oh, that's mightily sweet of you. I have a PayPal's email address, which is aspenrosearts@gmail.com. Aspen, S-P-N, Rose, O-S-E, arts@gmail.com. And that's also in the show notes. And please donate to that. All the efforts you guys donate to, including Ezina, would help me launch my career and help me get this publishing deal up and off the ground, because as Ezina knows, being an indie is tough enough, but this publishing deal is going to cost me $3,500. So if I start doing it now, that would be great. And so any little bit helps. I know you guys, those of you who are in the Houston and surrounding areas can't necessarily do it because you guys are deluged with rain right now. But for the rest of you, please help the independent artists out, Ezina, myself, the independent book artists out, the independent music artists out. So please just help all of us out so we can continue doing our craft.
Absolutely. You know, and it's an interesting thing I just want to point out is that this is not something new. I think some people think that, you know, being a patron or donating to these campaigns is new. But when you think of Beethoven in his time, they always had benefactors who underwrote their artistic, creative endeavors. So this is just, I feel like there's just a resurgence of artists having to, you know, post up our own campaigns to raise money. But this isn't a new idea. This is an old idea that is just resurfacing. And, you know, we have so much great art from, you know, Beethoven to, you know, Chopin to the other artists, you know, painters and sculptors, you know, Michelangelo, like they were all supported by patrons. So you guys get to also be a part of history making when you donate because you are becoming the patrons of this society. So it's really cool to get involved and support, you know, art that you believe in and artists that you believe in. And I hope that you guys will support, you know, Butterflies of Wisdom, you know, definitely support by listening, downloading, and definitely, you know, keep following Wynn along her journey and, you know, seeing this book to fruition and all of her other projects.
Well, thank you. And I think you stole my brain there because I was
sorry.
going to, I think you took the words right out of my mouth because I was just going to say that, but I let you go because you said what I wanted to say.
Well, good thing we're aligned, you know, like mine.
Well, good thing. Good thing.
Yes.
And so, what would be your closing thoughts for this interview?
I think the best thing I can say to all the listeners is you all have creative genius inside of you that you may be too afraid to share with the world. And if you see, I know you all see what's happening in the world, we really need your artistic contribution because artistry makes life livable. You know, can you imagine life without the paintings, without the music, without the books, without, you know, the art? Like, art makes life beautiful. So I know that all of you have some artistic or creative endeavor that you are probably hoarding and not sharing with the world, and I'd just like to encourage you all to share. Share your artistry.
Well,
share.
Well, thank you for saying that because I believe that the disabled can do anything, and that's my audience. And a lot of solo entrepreneurs listen to us too, but more of the disabled.
You know, and what a blessing. You know, you are doing so much, you know, for the community. And, you know, I want to see more of you out there shining. Shine your light. Shine your light. That's my closing statement.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Missy. Thank you, Missy. And so where can we find you? Of course, we'll have all your information in the show notes, which this episode will be coming out on Thursday.
You can find me at ezina.com. That's E as in Edward, Z as in zebra, I as in igloo, N as in Nancy, A as in apple.com. And you can find me on Twitter at Ezina. You can find me on Facebook at Ezina. And for all of you Instagrammers out there, you can find me on Instagram at Ezina TV.
Ezina TV, and we'll have all that information in the show notes. And I appreciate you guys listening. As you know, I'm on a publishing book crisis right now, so I'm trying to get these books done and to their open homes and pay people. And yeah, it's a little bit overwhelming leaving your day job. It's a little bit overwhelming, but as long as we have the support behind us, we'll be perfectly fine. God knows I do. God knows Ezina does. So we'll be perfectly fine as independent creators. But please, 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 please just go support those independent creatives and go pick up my books on Amazon. If you just type in I Come a Win, that will send you down a rabbit hole about cerebral palsy, and then you can figure out why I do what I do. And then if you pick up my latest book on Audible, The Mosaic of CT, that's my latest book. And so it's a little bit overwhelming, but I'm going to try and keep this podcast going the best I can. But with you guys, I can and I will. And I would like to thank Ezina for her time. And this podcast has been sponsored by Grace by Grit. Grace by Grit is a clothing line out of California. And so more information can be found in the show notes. They're giving you 20% off when you type in the code EXO Butterflies at gracebygrit.com. And I hope you guys enjoyed another fabulous episode. Thanks to you guys.
Thank you.